My son, the king whispered, his voice breaking, forgive me. David's eyes filled with tears as he fell to his knees. Father, you owe me nothing but love. The old woman smiled faintly, tears glistening in her eyes. Now the truth has found its voice, she said softly, and turned to leave the palace, her burden finally lifted after decades of silence. From that day, the king called David my son of fate. David went to his mother at once. He knelt and held her close, not as a warrior, not as an advisor, but as a son who finally understood. Mother, you should have told me, he said softly. Her hand trembled as it touched his cheek. I only wanted to protect you, my son. David hugged her tightly, steady and sure. From today onward, he said firmly, I will take care of you. That is my promise. The woman closed her eyes, relief washing over her like cool rain. She rose slowly and bowed before the king and queen. I have spoken all that I carried. For a moment, the king stood still. His eyes filled with confusion, remorse, and a strange new joy. He stepped forward, not as King Beo the Great, but as a man who had wounded another without knowing. His voice cracked as he spoke. Florence, tell me, what do you want me to do for you? Name anything. I promise I will do whatever it takes to make you happy. He swallowed hard, his voice barely steady. The queen lowered her head, touched by the moment. David's mother replied, I ask for nothing, only peace for my son. Take care of him. The words struck the king like a spear of truth, gentle, yet piercing. Not a request for wealth, not for favor, not for herself, only peace for the boy she loved. I will take care of him, the king said softly. Florence. I never had a son. I never understood why. He placed a hand over his heart. Perhaps this is the reason. Because the one I was meant to have was already born. Already living, already growing. His voice cracked. Who was going to sit on my throne? Who would inherit my crown? He looked toward David with new eyes. Eyes of a father recognizing his blood. Now I know. This is my son. The heir I never knew I had. He turned back to Florence. Thank you, he said quietly. Thank you for bringing him into this world. He spoke her name with deep respect. Florence. With a soft smile, Florence nodded, her face alight with relief and joy. She turned to leave, her steps small but lighter than before. David walked beside her, holding her arm, guiding her gently toward the palace doors. Just as a true son should. When they stepped outside of the palace, a tall charming man hurried in. Dust on his feet from running, worry in his eyes. This was the man who had married her. The man who raised her child. The man David had always called father. He paused when he saw them, chest rising and falling. My wife, he said, voice thick with emotion. I heard you came here. I feared something was wrong. The woman wiped her tears quickly, embarrassed. I had to speak the truth, she whispered. The man looked at her for a long, quiet moment. Then something softened in his eyes. He stepped forward, lifted her chin gently, and said, You carried this alone for too long. I am proud of you for speaking today. Her lips trembled. You are not angry? He shook his head and took her hands. I married you knowing you had a past. But you gave me 3 wonderful children. And you have been a good wife. Nothing you confessed today changes that. David's breath caught. He had never admired the man more than in that moment. The husband placed a firm, reassuring arm around her. Let us go home together, he said softly. You are my wife. Always. Florence finally broke into relieved sobs. Not of shame, but of freedom. The man turned to David, gave him a warm hug, and said, I understood you perfectly well, David. Every responsible child would want to know their biological parent. And with a gentle handshake he added, we hope you visit soon, your siblings are missing you terribly. David grinned, I sure will. As they turned to leave, he tossed a playful bombshell to his mother. Mama, I'll be getting married soon. His mother's eyes widened in a mix of shock and excitement. Really, son? Who's the lucky one? Is she from this land? What's her father's name? David chuckled, teasing, Mama, relax. Her name is Lillian. I'll bring her by soon to meet her future mother-in-law. Overjoyed, his mother floated out with her husband, beaming. David waved, calling out with a grin, Mama, I love you, you're the best mother in the world. Princess Amira, now queen of her own land, returned with her husband to visit. She hugged David, smiling through her tears. So, you were truly my brother all along. David smiled. Perhaps that is why my heart never loved you as a woman, it already loved you as family. And the kingdom rejoiced, for truth had healed where lies once divided.